New York. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. It's the afternoon. It is Wednesday, and we are here in Midtown Manhattan, in the heart of Times Square. It is bustling, and we are hustling. We are heading over to our matinee today, which is none other than Death Becomes Her. Very exciting. This because Mr. Aeron James won the ticket lottery for the matinee yesterday, perhaps. This was our last open slot, technically, that wasn't really spoken for of the trip because we moved some stuff around, so we were like, what do we go see? Entered a bunch of lotteries online, which if you don't know is like something to do the day before, the afternoon before, and Aeron won for Death Becomes Her, and now we are standing in front of the marquee of the Lunt-Fontanne Theatre. I am just a girl standing in front of a Broadway house waiting to go inside and watch a musical. I am very excited. Mr. Aeron James is here. Kate is leaving. Goodbye, Kate. Kate's going to go and try and get chess tickets. If you want to see if Kate succeeds, go watch the vlog that Kate is filming right now that will either have already been released or perhaps is coming out in 6 months' time. We will find out together. But for now, we're going to go inside and see Death Becomes Her. Also, oh my god, hey, hello. If you don't know who I am, my name is MickeyJo. This is my fiancé, Aeron James. We have travelled together to New York. We're here for 2 weeks. We're seeing 20 shows. This is part 2 of that vlog. If you haven't watched part 1, go and check out part 1. We got up to some very fun things. And today we begin part 2 with a 2-show day. In fact, our next 3 days in a row, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, are all 2-show days. A lot of rare midweek matinee performances happening this week in Manhattan. So we're seeing 6 shows in the next 3 days, and you're going to come with us. The line is a little long, but it's because they don't really open the houses until half an hour before the show starts. You can get let into the Lunt-Fontanne a little early because they have an upstairs lobby space that they can let some people into if you are sitting up there, but if you're sitting in the orchestra, then there's not much point. Once they do open the house, though, the line tends to move up pretty quick, especially if you have your tickets ready and your bag ready to be checked, although only if they say you need to, if the security register goes off. And sure enough, we are pretty swiftly heading up towards the marquee and to head into the Lunt-Fontanne Theatre. Our 3rd time seeing this show. The first was around about a year ago. The second was back in January of this year in the midst of a blizzard. We are hoping to catch principal cast members today, but we will be excited to see whomever. Megan Hilty, Tony Award nominated star, playing the role of Madeline Ashton, as seen up there, has announced that she's leaving the show in January. Betsy Wolfe is coming in. Great replacement casting. Very excited. I'm just generally excited that Death Becomes Her is going to have replacement casting because so many people will be great in these roles. But this is probably our last chance to see Megan, who we've only seen once before. So fingers crossed, and hopefully, otherwise we don't really mind who we see, but that would be nice. And here she is on, I think this is called a lenticular poster rather than holographic, but it's very cool how it changes. We do have a cast board here today showing the cast for today's performance, and the only substitutions shown are the role of Silk's Dance, which will be performed by Christine Covelo, and the parts usually played by Sarita Colon will be played by Johanna Moyes. So, presumably, it is going to be the full principal cast today. And here we are inside the Lunt-Fontanne. At the back of the orchestra, you can find a merchandise booth. They have another one up in the foyer of the mezzanine area, but the merch here is gorgeous and playful. We have bottoms-up t-shirts. We have a sort of tie-dye purple Death Becomes Her t-shirt as well there. These are new, these Death Becomes Her Broadway socks in leopard print. We have a Find Your Person tote bag covered in enamel pins. I'll show you more of the trinkets close up. Got a little iridescent mug over here that says "Now a Warning." The same thing in tie-dye on a hoodie there. We've got stickers. We've got a "Uh-oh, she's furious" fan. We've got magnets. We've got the CD. Just over there we have a baseball cap that says "Serving Lunt." We are, of course, at the Lunt-Fontanne. We have a "Everything I Do Is for the Gays" t-shirt that I bought a couple trips ago, and that's a long-sleeve top up there that says "Siempre Viva." I think that's the back. I don't know if the front looks particularly exciting, but might have to do a little bit of a browse. Might buy some more things today. Didn't know that I was expecting to buy merchandise, but we've got such cute stuff. How can I resist? And then a little closer up down here, you can just about see there's a little compact mirror. I think that says wrinkled, wrinkled little star. We've got the enamel pin set. We've got a little Siempre Viva, little ornament thing there, and the magnet, and what I think is a sticker set there as well. But lots of cute stuff here to commemorate your visit to Death Becomes Her on Broadway. And why wouldn't you want to? I bought the socks, everybody. I bought the socks. This is my second sock purchase of the trip. It's kind of what I'm collecting now, because I used to be a teacher and wear like black and grey socks every day of my life for no good reason, and now I'm like, I can wear fun socks. So I want more theatre-themed socks. They are very expensive for what they are, but they're cute. Adjacent to the merchandise, I've showed you this in the Luntfontein before, but I'm going to show you again. We have a bar with some specialty beverages. You can get a Cosmo, which of course is vodka, triple sec, cranberry and lime. You can get Madeline's Twist, which is gin, triple sec, soda and lime. Dr. Menville's Mule, bourbon, ginger beer and lime. All of those priced at $21 for a single, $39 for a double. Premium drinks include the Potion, which is Prosecco, Aperol and lime. The Hellini, I don't know if that's meant to sound like a Helen Bellini or just Hell, which is Prosecco and peach liqueur, actually sounds delicious. And the Siempre Viva, which is vodka, Kahlua, Starbucks cold brew coffee. That does not sound like a drink for me, but listen, if you want to live forever, apparently Starbucks cold brew, vodka and Kahlua is the secret. Those are $25 for a single, $40 for a double. And of course, the themed Death Becomes Her cups are a big part of the appeal of those beverages as well. Although you can also just order a fountain drink like a soda in a signature cup and get one of those too. I mean a souvenir cup, that's what I mean. And here we are in our seats in the orchestra. The lighting in here always reads so blue on my camera. I promise you it looks more purpley in real life, but this is our view of the gorgeous Death Becomes Her illuminated pre-show signage and the ruched curtain. This is our third completely different vantage point on this show. The first time we were above where we are now, up in the mezzanine looking down on it. The second time, back in January, we were front or second row, right over there, real close to the stage, but a little wide. This time, technically, we are in the outermost seats, but there's an aisle here to my left. In a lot of Broadway houses, if you're right on the end, you'll be touching the wall, which is not always the most fun experience, because you've got to go all the way down the row. But we have an aisle, which is fantastic, and because we're further back, you see, if we were like right down at the front in this same width, then we'd be a little wide to the stage, but because we're further back, it matters a little bit less. And these were lottery tickets, so that's a real result for us, because you kind of take your life into your own hands when you get a lottery ticket, because it could be anywhere really, but these are really great. So happy with this and how it's worked out. These are maybe our best seats yet overall for Death Becomes Her. A moment, as always, for the gorgeous interior of the Luntfontein, which pairs very well with this slightly gothic and campy show. We have been given our playbills that do have little slips in here, just giving us the full cast list for this performance, which does include Michelle Williams, Jennifer Samard, Megan Hilty, and Christopher Zeba, who we saw just a few days ago playing a veterinarian in Bat Boy. Now he's playing a plastic surgeon in Death Becomes Her. Perhaps we should go to the stage door afterwards and ask him who he'll be next week and in what show.
Act 3, all right? We just wanted to let you know what's going on Broadway and off-Broadway national tours across the country. We're all taking donations for an amazing group called Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. What this group does is takes 100% of your contributions, helps out men, women, and children living with HIV or AIDS. It helps them buy their groceries, pay their rent, prescriptions, whatever they might need. It helps out other groups like the Phyllis Newman Women's Health Initiative, helping women with cervical breast cancer, the American Red Cross, the Wounded Warriors Program, and Broadway Cares just recently sent $1.5 million to 148 food supply stores, or what do they call them? Food shelters, food supply stores, because of the SNAP benefit thing. Anyway, there'll be volunteers in the back with red buckets, and in these red buckets, we're hoping you'll put $1, maybe $2, maybe $300,000 if you have it. We also have some items for sale for you as well, and here comes Ryan Warsing. Ryan Warsing. For $300 or more, you can get an autographed poster, whoa, signed by the entire company you see up here. For $100, right? $100, you get the signed playbill signed by the entire company you see right before you. And we just recently got a Grammy nomination, so you're going to want to get these. We know Broadway show is very expensive, but if everyone here gave $1, we'd have $1,500 from this show alone, and you'd be helping out people right in your own neighborhood, I promise you. Guys, thanks so much for coming to Death Becomes Her. Good night.
And that was, once again, Death Becomes Her. So much fun, so much fun. Consistently a delicious gay delight performed by a fabulous cast. And how fun for us to get to see Megan and Jennifer together again. Yeah. Didn't know that we were going to, hadn't planned to. Jen still meant to be with the show through next year, and quite possibly is just going to stay in this hit show. It's a fantastic role for her, the likes of which don't necessarily come along all that often. But we could get, ongoingly a steady stream of brilliant new character actresses in these roles. Maybe we'll be back at Death Becomes Her next year seeing two completely different stars. I don't know. Across the street, they are basking in the joy of Hamilton, which has never really stopped being a hot ticket, but is currently a red hot ticket once again, with Leslie Odom Jr.'s temporary return to the show to recreate his Tony Award-winning performance as Aaron Burr, one of the show's original cast members. What was your highlight moment of Death Becomes Her today, Aeron James?
Megan Hilty and Jen Samar just being icons.
Yeah, simply iconic, great stuff. I'm so fascinated by this building that has not existed on any of our previous trips. New York do be shifting and evolving. I enjoyed both of them. I enjoyed seeing Christopher Sieber again in a similar character to the one he played in Batboy at the weekend, but with differences. And Michelle Williams, I think, has come a very long way since we first saw the show in previews, and sings the hell out of that show, and just looks to be having so much fun on stage, when my biggest thing when we first saw her was that she did not. It looked like she was trying to figure out how to walk in the dress, and now she's having the best time, as is the audience. We have a dinner booking with some friends, but a little bit of time before that, so we're going to try and find Aaron's scarf that he may or may not have left at the theatre last night. Good news, everybody! We found the scarf!
I want me to book a scarf as well, because it's cold.
It is cold. I wish I had lost a scarf last night in Manhattan that I could go and pick up from somewhere. Maybe I just buy a new one. I do have a scarf with me. I didn't bring it out today because I felt like it wasn't as cold today, and then it got cold again. It is really chilly at the moment. Also, hilariously, Aaron losing hats and scarves places is something of a running theme in our lives, as is walking past Broadway star Casey Likes. We pass each other on the street in New York constantly. Every single time. It was already a joke between he and I, and it's just happened again. I don't know if it feels as ridiculous to him as it does to me, because he's here all the time, and he presumably runs into a lot of people, but...
And we're not good at picking up when people are there.
Like, we walk past, almost in this exact spot, actually, where we were last night. We walked past Seth Meyers, but he doesn't know who I am.
It does happen in London, but I realise I'm so less observant in London.
I usually tell you afterwards, we just walked past so-and-so.
Me and Emma Corrin slammed into each other, and I did not know.
Sounds violent, but
we kind of, it was just we walked into each other, and I was like, oh, and we were both like, oh, no problem, carried on walking.
Yeah.
And then you turned to me and was like, you went in the car and just walked into each other.
Casey Likes and I have chatted about this and just said hello again just now. Of course, he's currently starring off-Broadway at New World Stages in Heathers, which is vaguely the direction he was heading up in. I guess to go and freeze some brains as JD.
Death Hunter is like so settled into being such a perfect long runner show.
Yeah, nice and comfortable, doing its thing, making packed houses of audiences happy on a Wednesday afternoon.
Great vibe from that audience. It's like, this is why it's still here.
Yeah, and it was nice to be like sending off Megan Hilty and also wondering beyond Betsy Wolfe and how funny she's going to be and very different, I imagine, in the role. Who else is going to get to go into it? That's the joy of these long-running shows and these great written roles. You know, it's nice to be able to see the original Broadway stars. That's really exciting for us as theatre fans who grew up
never getting to see them.
Yeah, not thinking we would get to, like waiting for like the West End production. But then also like all of these other stars who come into the shows as well. And it's nice to have Leslie Odom Jr. across the street going back after a decade, sort of saluting casts old and new, I guess. Kate is among our friends who we are having dinner with, who we think is currently in a performance. Well, Kate is seeing Chess this afternoon, but we think the performance is still ongoing. But I just stopped to notice these holiday posters, and look at this Moulin Rouge one with a blonde Satine likeness. Never seen that before, but Meg Donnelly is starring as Satine with Bob the Drag Queen to join as Harold Zidler. Very exciting. And look where we've ended up for dinner, everybody. We are back at our favourite, Gale's Broadway Rose, at Friedman's Restaurant in the bottom of the Edison Hotel, where you are serenaded as you eat by very talented singing servers. Not for nothing, the menu is also absolutely delicious. I'm so hungry today. I'm probably going to go for the buttermilk fried chicken burger, but I'm a leaf in the breeze. I could just as easily order the fried chicken and cheddar waffle because it's so good.
Mom, it's amazing.
And as the sensational performer sang, let's see the next amazing thing baking does now. Here is the next amazing thing that cooking has done. Woo! What a star. Food has arrived, everybody. Food has arrived. These fries are insane every single time. And it had to be done. It absolutely had to be done. We have gone for a cookie plate as they serenade us with A Star Is Born. The song is shallow, the cookies are deep. Are you ready? This keeps happening to me. You are just too good. At least at it, I don't think I could. Lock in, everybody, lock in. I was not locked in. Every little trick, however small. passing through Schubert Alley for the second time today. Up until today on our trip, though, we'd gone several days without ever visiting Schubert Alley, and normally it's one of our earlier stops. So, thrilled to finally be here. We are heading down to the St. James Theatre. We have headed into the St. James Theatre, and we are at the merchandise booth area, and you can see some of the merch items just here behind this friendly and helpful member of staff. There's a cute little Queen of Versailles baseball cap there. There's a little crown. I do want the dog, thank you so much. Aaron's going to get me the dog. We've got a little, I don't know if that's a little Akita or what that breed, is that meant to be a Bichon Frise? I don't know. We have a window card, we have an American royalty tea, we have a Queen of Versailles tea with Kristen's face on that poster there. We have Kristen Chenoweth's book. We have some more apparel up here, including a tote bag, including a Caviar Dreams baseball cap, and simply a Queen pullover. And we have this little cutie! Look at you!
This is a main one.
We will decide what your name is, but I can't not get the plush. Thank you, Aeron. Yay! I'll show you some of the cute little trinkets here as well. We got pins, and we got, I assume that's a little mirror on the other side, little charms, and magnets up here as well. Cute little things. And then postcards from the Queen of Versailles. And this is the set of the St. James Theatre for the Queen of Versailles. Looking very regal, very grand, as it would have to be because of what this show is about, which I will find out more about. I've not seen the documentary on which this is based, but there's been much discussion of the show, and so I've come to find out a little bit more about its plot and about the real-life woman who Kristen Chenoweth, Tony Award winner Kristen Chenoweth, is playing in the show, as pictured on the playbill here. Remember, as always, to pick up your playbills from the ushers. They will also tell you which aisles to go down. They will help you get to and from your seat with minimal challenges. And I have the playbill here. We are on row E. I am in 110, row E. Pretty damn central. I am back at the St. James for the umpteenth time. Sat not too far from where I did for, Illinois. We were a few rows in front down there on our most recent visit to see Mandy Gonzalez in Sunset Boulevard, which we also saw originally from back over there. I have sat in the mezzanine for New York, New York. That was maybe my first ever visit to the St. James. But I think I've seen more different shows in this theatre than any other on Broadway. I have found the specialty cocktails here at one of the bars. You can get a Champagne Wishes, which of course is champagne-based, with gin and pear and pomegranate, an Old Money, which ironically they are not, which is bourbon, simple syrup, aromatic bitters and orange, or a New Money, just like The Great Gatsby, which is tequila, watermelon Red Bull, orange and lime, and edible glitter, which actually also sounds quite nice. finished the night with a comparatively rare post-show trip to Schmackery's. Aeron got his favourite, the sweet corn, and apple cider,
Yeah, cool.
which is a concept we are currently wrapping our heads around because it's non-alcoholic and cold.
Well, I think you could get it cold or hot, and
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I kind of need a cold drink right now, actually. But then it's
Can I try
also...
it?
Are you okay with that?
That's a very good point, actually. Maybe not.
I don't want to be shown on camera giving it.
I forgot that I was allergic to apples.
I was like, we're not doing this
I
right
fully
now.
forgot. I forget I have allergies. That's what happened to me with the green elixir shortly before our trip. Anyway, like people who have just arrived somewhere with luggage, we have been doing a lot of unpacking post the Queen of Versailles in an emotional sense, and we're going to continue to do that on the subway back to Brooklyn because there's much to discuss, much that I look forward to saying in front of a different camera, probably when we get back to the UK, because there are, for now, so many more shows to see. And this is the problem with 2 show days, is tomorrow we're going to have to head back into the city early-ish.
I forgot what we're seeing tomorrow, so it's going to be fun.
Caroline at MCC.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the evening, Ragtime. Ragtime at Lincoln Center.
That's this week.
Yeah. So that's the 2 show day tomorrow. And it doesn't leave me much time to get stuff done in the morning, but we will do what we can. We are getting there. We are keeping up with the workload and also starting to make content about this trip, but there will be so many shows to review when I really get the chance. So all of that to look forward to. In the meantime, I'm going to get on the subway. Getting ready for the day that is Thursday. Going to see Ragtime today. About to put a jumper over this. So this is the last time you will see this baseball style top all day. But also, this is the reality of the current cold weather, which is glamorous thermals / am I ready to be in a production of a chorus line looking like some sort of weird hybrid dance outfit. And hello and happy Thursday to all of you. Welcome back to Manhattan. We are here today up on like 52nd Street. Just got the subway here and then got a Dunkin' because we want to eat between shows today. And if I can offer you one piece of advice, well, I tend to offer you several, but one thing I will say is don't be going out there and having a big New York Manhattan lunch if you're planning on having dinner between shows. You will not be able to. I have made this mistake so many times, and I still will again in the future. But what you see me holding right now is a really cautious amount of hash browns. Just a little something, so my tummy doesn't rumble through this little matinee play that we are seeing today. We're heading to MCC Theatre, which stands for... Do you know? I don't know. In any case, we're heading over there now. It's between 10th and 11th, so a couple streets over from the Midtown Manhattan Theatre District, also right up at the top, here on 52nd. It is very much an off-Broadway house that we have visited on 2 occasions before. The first time was to see The Connector. The Connector, and you can see yourself a fragment of. The second time was to see The Lonely Few. I cannot remember how many of the songs from The Lonely Few. Can you remember songs from The Lonely Few?
Not right now.
No, okay, no, we don't have that one. But today, for the first time, we're going there to see a play called Caroline, towards the end of its run, but doing a lovely little Thursday 2 p.m, hence how it was able to fit so neatly into our schedule. Final week.
Well, this is the extension week.
Yes, written by Preston Max Allen, with themes that I'm very eager to go and theatrically explore. Heard great things, which is good because we're still musing on the show we saw yesterday, which was an experience for all involved, which we'd kind of anticipated. That was pretty much what we'd heard. But now, hopefully, going to go and palate cleanse with something A, completely different, and B, perhaps a little more rewarding over at the MCC. And here it is. This is the entrance. 2 different spaces here at MCC. And you can see advertised here, Caroline. I can't go to Broadway with you. I'm staying here with Caroline. That, of course, is from Gypsy and has nothing to do with this play. But I'm very excited to see it. nonetheless. I will show you the view from our seats in just a moment, but first of all, look at the seats themselves. Look at the way the arm comes down. How fun, how novel, how exciting. This is the more intimate of the two playing spaces here at MCC, the first time we've ever seen anything in this space, and this is the stage here that we are looking down on from our lovely raked seating. We're in C1 and 2, and very much looking forward to seeing Caroline. 90 minutes, one act, we will tell you all about it afterwards. Okay, that was a really great play, everybody. That was a really great play. Loved it. Loved everything about it.
That was a play that, that should go to Broadway. Not just because it was so great and, in that sense, I think it should, but also it's a show that I think many people should see.
Yeah, rather than going to see Tom Felton in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, who started performances this week, why don't we go see Caroline? Yeah. Written by an important voice in trans writing, Preston Max Allen. First time I've seen his work, but have heard great things for a very long time. It tells a different kind of a story about trans youth, a more honest one. And as I was saying to Aeron before, the vast majority of... oh my gosh, catching leaves. The vast majority of trans lives that I have meaningfully encountered have been young people, because it's while I was a teacher, and it was many of my students. And to see, it's been very frustrating to hear the concept of trans youth discussed in so much debate that trans voices haven't been empowered to participate in. So to get to see a play like that is not only rewarding, it's also super important. But that was also only one aspect of its identity, because then you had Chloe Grace Moretz's character and her history with addiction and this estrangement from her privileged parents, kind of reconnecting to that because not because she wanted to go back home, but because she was prioritizing the safety of her child, having to then sort of sacrifice herself at the altar of her mother's condemnation in this fascinating, thorny, triple intergenerational thing, which I was saying I loved so much in Joshua Harmon's We Had a World back earlier this year.
Yeah.
At City Centre, yeah, time flies. So yeah, just a really great play, and so glad that we had the chance to see it. Probably the first great play that we've seen in our trip so far.
By far the best play I've seen in our trip so far.
Yeah. Heading up now, we got some time to kill because that let out at about 3:35.
Yeah.
We got some time to kill before grabbing dinner at the meatball shop, which was chosen because it was right by MCC. Ironically, we have travelled away, and we are now... I mean, if we weren't meeting friends, it would make more sense for us to eat somewhere up here, because we're currently walking past Lincoln Centre and the Vivian Beaumont, where we are heading later to go and see Ragtime. It does give us something to do, that's true, and that was not a long walk. And we like to be social, and when else are we going to go to the meatball shop, because it's quite high up.
Yeah.
So it's arguably a perfect day. Here you go, gorgeous Lincoln Centre. Or you can just about glimpse Ragtime through there.
So
you'll see it later.
Monday, that what you just got shown is going to be Wicked.
Oh yes.
This is where the Wicked premiere in New York's happening.
Oh yes, I had forgotten how exciting that is as well. Hello, Outsiders bus. Stay sort of faded turquoise. Speaking of faded turquoise, I bought not a black and white cookie, as is the New York delicacy, but I got a teal and white cookie from William Greenberg, the West Side William Greenberg. For years, we used to hike up to the one on the East Side, which is way higher, and took hours of our lives, and none of you told us that there was one on the West Side, which is not only way nearer to where we occasionally stay with friends, but also just for several reasons easier to get to. In any case, been there to get Aeron a black and white cookie, and to get me a teal and white one, because I'm slowly trying many different colours to see if the experience varies, and unsurprisingly it does not.
Well,
but they all taste great.
Because all the coloured ones, it's not the like chocolatey taste, is it? It's
I think
just
they all taste the same.
Oh, I thought
Like
the
the-
black and white was different to the albeit of the icing one.
Yeah, so they don't taste like a black and white. They just taste like
Icing.
a white and white.
Yeah.
In different colours. But it's interesting the psychology of whether your brain makes them taste a little different. Because I remember it was real cold here and I had the blue one and I was like, that tasted real blue. And then I think I've had a red one or a green one subsequently, but this will be the first time trying teal. So excited for that. We're showing real restraint because they're both in my backpack right now.
Yeah, we both wanted to eat them straight away.
Oh, this is so pretty. We're enjoying
Cool.
fall colours today in Central Park. Next week currently we're staying in Brooklyn. Next week we're staying with our friends on the Upper West Side, so there'll be much more Central Park content in the final instalment of this vlog. But yeah, this is our first time this trip wandering through Central Park, which is always an unmissable part of any New York trip for us. I still remember the magic of the first time we experienced it. We have lots of Central Park memories since.
Yeah.
In the snow, in the very warm sunshine. We've still never done a show at the Delacorte,
No.
which I would like to. I'd like to do that whole experience, queuing up, all that good stuff. But we're never usually in New York at that kind of time. We're gradually crossing off all the months in the city. We've still never done like December or August or like February necessarily. You can see that it's golden hour on the skyline over there on the Upper East Side. Aeron wanted a beverage to walk down with, and so I suggested the to-go window from Tavern on the Green, the iconic restaurant here behind us that we have never eaten at, but we have seen Elf the musical many times, and they talk about it extensively. It's also depicted in Mr. Popper's Penguins, which Aeron got me to watch after we'd come here so many times and I still hadn't seen it, which is a lovely film. Look at the skyline behind me. So pretty. So pretty. Lovely lighting this time of day. Ghostbusters, I think, has a thing at Tavern on the Green as well. One of these days, we will eat here. It's not impossible to get a reservation, just requires a little organisation. It's more the fact that it's never really where we need to be. And you kind of want to come here to enjoy being here. I mean, you could go, like, sit at the bar is another option available to you. It doesn't need to be an entire extensive sit-down dinner. But I think that's the vibe and that's the thing that we would like to experience. Maybe next time we see, like, a later Lincoln Center show. If we had, like, an 8 p.m. Lincoln Center or even Studio 54, maybe that would be the time to go to Tavern on the Green. Also, maybe some kind of an opening night party or a press event will take us there before too long. It has been known to happen. So we were just passing Columbus Circle and Aeron was like, oh, I've been told that we should come here because they do weekly Broadway performances. And turns out they're on Thursdays at 5 p.m. and it's nearly 5 p.m.
It's
on a
Moulin
Thursday.
Rouge that becomes an Aunt Juliet.
Currently sound checking. But it's Broadway's Liam Pearce, everybody. Currently starring as Romeo in Aunt Juliet. Ooh! Give us vocal choices.
A little bit about me, I've been in the Broadway companies of Fiddler on the Roof in South Pacific and the Broadway National Tour of My Fair Lady, and currently starring as Frankie in the new off-Broadway musical Fixing Frankie. So if you want to support off-Broadway, come on out and see it and take a look at fixingfrankiethemusical.com. I think it's just fixingfrankiemusical.com. Tonight we have incredible performances from the cast of Moulin Rouge, Death Becomes Her, and Aunt Juliet. A couple things I want to tell you about before we start. So, Broadway Under the Stars is called Broadway Under the Stars because we have this backdrop of the most beautiful holiday decorations that the Shops at Columbus Circle has put out with over 300,000 lights. And it happens every night at 5 p.m. and it happens in every 30 minutes. When there's Broadway Under the Stars, it happens at 6:05 again, so that you can stick around till midnight and see it. It's something you will not want to miss. A couple other things I want to let you know about. So there is something called Santa's Secret going on. And so this is an adults-only twist on holiday fun. It's an immersive holiday variety show presented by Voss Events, beginning tonight on the 4th floor. So guests will journey through 8 artfully designed installations before arriving at a hidden speakeasy featuring festive cocktails, a curated dining and cocktail menu, and mesmerizing live performances spanning ballet, aerial, burlesque, and more. So you will definitely want to take a look at that. You can visit the booth downstairs and they'll tell you more about it. A really fantastic giveaway that we have is that Moulin Rouge is offering 2 free tickets to their show. So if you go to the information booth downstairs, you can sign up with your email and they'll call you if you want. Don't call them, they'll call you. But they'll absolutely be able to call you if you win. And it is a show you will not want to miss. So even if you don't win the tickets, you will want to get tickets to Moulin Rouge. Also, be sure to visit Twin Tails, Momofuku Noodle Bar. There are so many incredible restaurants and bars in here that you're going to want to visit and try. Shops at Columbus Circle really is a one-stop destination. All right, so on with the entertainment. We are starting with Moulin Rouge the musical.
Hey, sister, go, sister, soul, sister, love, sister. Hey, sister, go, sister, soul, sister, love. Itchy, itchy, la, 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 la. Itchy, itchy, la, la, yeah. Mocha, chocolate, yeah. Creole lady, mama, la.
The film and love it. What can they expect from the musical that's maybe the same or different? What are they going to expect in A Night at Moulin Rouge?
I think that because we put so many contemporary songs into the show, but in a surprising way. So I think that's like a fun thing about the movie, but the songs are different than the movie. So it's like, oh, I recognize that song by Outkast or by Lady Gaga or by Beyonce, but it's fun to hear it in the way that it's arranged into our show. So I think that's like a good expectation.
And your show is so much fun. And can I just ask you guys, is there a moment or is there something that you love most? Is there a moment that you love doing or love watching in your show nightly?
Honestly, the faces of the audience, as soon as we come out in the pre-show, because you walk into our theater and you're immediately immersed into the Moulin Rouge. The entire theater is decorated in dark red lights and fairy lights, and there's chandeliers from the ceiling, and you see people walk in and people are just in absolute awe. And then when they hear this song with our can-can outfits, everyone is just like so excited, and it gives us energy to see how much you guys are enjoying yourselves as well.
You'll never be denied everlasting love. What's love got to do it? Suppose I kept on singing love songs. All of this music breaks my heart. This breaks my heart.
Bless this actress who has just been asked in a little bit of mid-set banter to explain the meaning of firework in Moulin Rouge and has done a great job of trying to make that sound real meaningful. Excellent work. Well, that was a fun little unexpected side quest. Points to Aeron James.
My friends had told us to just visit there in general to say that it was a cool place to see during this period of time.
It's cool to go and see all the illuminated stars.
Yeah, we heard that every day at 5 they do a light show.
Next Thursday, I guess they have a different 3 shows. You said maybe Happy Ending?
Happy Ending, Outsiders, and another show.
How fun! How fun! And yeah, in the summer, on certain weeks, like you were just saying.
Yeah, Broadway and Brighton Park.
Yeah. So always be aware of the other stuff that's happening seasonally around your visit.
I will say, New York definitely does that a lot better than London does.
Oh yeah, it's also like geographically a little easier, I think.
Yeah, tons easier.
And I say be aware of the other stuff. We did not realise this was happening. That was a very lucky fluke of timing.
Yeah, I just said let's go for a walk through because I've been told it's really nice of that.
Yeah. Now we're heading back down to the meatball shop because I'm hungry, and we have a 7 p.m. curtain, and it's coming up to 5:30, and that's about a 15-minute walk back up to Lincoln Center, so we got to get a move on. Well, send me to YouTube jail. I just had dinner and I didn't film my food. I didn't film any of the experience, but we went to the meatball shop, which we love, and had build your own meatball dishes. Yeah, you can see our meatball shop adventures in vlogs past. I will, however, tell you about the experience, if only to remind my future self, I don't care how hungry I am. I don't need 4 meatballs. They're huge. I only need 3, especially with pasta. I had the 4 chicken with... I ordered the spiciest arrabbiata. I think I got the spicy meat because it was spicy. I had a little bit of bread. I had Aeron's extra little bit of bread, and I had rigatoni, and it was a lot. It was a lot of carbs. I could run the New York Marathon tomorrow. I mean, I've not been in training, but I have the power now. And also, despite the fact I am now very full and slightly regretting my decisions, although delicious as they were, I am about to eat this teal and white cookie because I'm full of meatballs, but I'm not a monster. And here we are again, up at Lincoln Center, passing David Geffen Hall, passing a lot of grand buildings that we have been inside, but not to actually see anything there. The only Lincoln Center venue we have frequented is the Vivian Beaumont, which we approach now. The larger of its 2 houses, the one that technically qualifies as a Broadway house. They also have an equivalent off-Broadway space where Kyoto is currently playing. We loved it in London, but we're not going to have time to see it here. So sad. The circus? Oh, the Big Apple Circus. That's where the Big Apple Circus is? The whole time? Wow. Aeron James will tell you about the 2 other occasions on which we have been to the Vivian Beaumont.
Vanya.
Uncle.
Oh no, it was Uncle Vanya.
It was Uncle Vanya.
It's because Vanya had just happened, or was happening at the same time as well.
I wish it was Vanya.
And then we also went to see Floyd Collins.
We have seen Rain on stage and we have seen Cave on stage. And this time... What? This I anticipate being neither of the above, unless of course something has gone very wrong. And here is Lincoln Center's iconic neon signage for the shows currently playing here. Of course we can see Ragtime on the left, and as promised Kyoto there on the right. And it's looking a little Italian, I'll be honest. The combination of colours there, looking a little bit Italian. But I'm excited to head in. Ragtime recently extended through June, so the foyer area here is going to look like this for a little while, and long may it continue. After all, one of the greatest book musicals ever written, to my mind. I will never tire of getting to see Ragtime. This will be our 3rd time seeing it in New York, but the first time seeing a fully staged, long-running production that wasn't some kind of a semi-staged or concert version. So I am excited for that. Now, as soon as you enter the Lincoln Center Vivian Beaumont foyer, you will find a cute little merch booth here where you can get this gorgeous tote bag. We have a similar design on a t-shirt here. We have a baseball-style tee. Of course, there is a baseball song in the show. This one with black sleeves. They had it with blue sleeves and a slightly different graphic back at City Center. There's a ragtime. Oh, there is a Ragtime candle. It's a Harlem candle. That merits some further investigation. We have a Make Them Hear You t-shirt, of course one of the most enduring messages of the show. We have a zip-up Ragtime the Musical hoodie here. We have that same embroidery on a baseball cap there. A nice sort of grey felty kind of a baseball cap. We have a little mug down there, and we have a window card, and we have some other little trinkets that I will show you momentarily. Here they are. Here are the trinkets. We have a different kind of a mug, we have magnets, we have enamel pins, we have lots of cute little things to commemorate your visit to Ragtime the Musical at the Vivian Beaumont Theatre. And for the very first time, everybody, we are sat up here in, you can call it the circle, you can call it the mezzanine, my ticket calls it a loge, whatever you want to call it. We are up here in the upper section of the Vivian Beaumont Auditorium. Previously we've sat pretty much in the same place twice, down around 2/3 of the way back in the middle seating section downstairs, but I quite like the bird's eye view POV that you're getting from up here. Of course we have our playbills. I love the lighting up here in the circle because it means I don't have to use flash. Look at the lighting on that playbill, absolutely gorgeous. Currently we can see something of a revolve in the sort of circular thrust of the stage there. We can see a solitary piano, and we can see Ragtime illuminated there like it's Rose at the end of Gypsy. Everything's coming up Ragtime. Stay tuned to find out if it does. I've heard that, you know, it's still a fairly sparsely staged production. I've heard mixed things about the creative choices on this particular revival, but a big part of me doesn't really care because the cast is terrific. We've already seen the vast majority of them before when this was a semi-staged concert back at New York City Center. I was about to say Lincoln Center. That's where we are now. And with Ragtime, I just like experiencing this material and this score. So, oh, I hadn't even noticed the proscenium. There's that as well. We have, you can faintly make it out, a proscenium round here with illuminations yet to emerge. So much to look forward to from one of my favorite musicals, Ragtime. We are in the intermission, and arguably all these theatres just need more bathrooms, but I do appreciate the solutions they find to their problems. Meanwhile, Aeron and I have been eyeing these souvenir cups with this striking Ragtime artwork, and we're going to grab some signature cocktails. In fact, we're going to get the mocktail, which is the distant music, down at the bottom there. Sounds nice. Candied orange, lemonade, and vanilla. You can also get a new syncopation, which is aviation gin, raspberry puree, tonic, and lime. A century spinning, prosecco, lavender, rosemary, thyme, mint, and lemon. Or an era exploding, Jim Beam bourbon, spiced apple cider, lemon, and iced chai tea. I appreciate the different flavors, all suitably American in their way, I suppose, for Ragtime. Does tickle me that all of the lyrics came from the opening number. I dare say the people who came up with the cocktails do know more than the opening number of the show, and to be fair, it gives way to those great titles there. What else could you have had? The lemon lime of the century? I don't know. Wheels of a cream soda. I tickle myself. Just spotted this over here. This is the company board, and it's a little subtle, but if there were to be any understudies at the performance, they would be designated there. I dare say you'd also get the slip in your playbill and possibly a pre-show announcement. We had a couple of pre-show announcements. We had an actual pre-show Broadway Cares announcement, which is not something I've heard before, and I don't know if that's just something that they do here at Lincoln Center, or if it's because it's a longer show. Ragtime, famously not very short. Maybe they felt the need to do it beforehand, but it was nice. It felt like they really had the audience's undivided attention because no one was trying to leave. Of course, many fantastic names in the company here. Brandon Uranowitz doing a fantastic job. Shayna Taub got entrance applause as Emma Goldman, in addition to the rest of the company who got entrance applause for all arriving together. Ben Levi Ross giving you gorgeous vocal tone as younger brother. Casey Levy, of course, in her mother era. Joshua Henry, absolutely remarkable as Cole House Walker Jr. Too many brilliant people here to mention. Michelle Lewis, also really fantastic, really grown in the role, I think, since New York City Center. Just lots of fantastic work happening here at Lincoln Center. We've not given you drinks reviews yet on this trip, and I'm swirling. These are mixed drinks. You've got to swirl them. Make sure to put the lid on before you swirl them. Let's see what we got here. It's nice. It's nice. It's good. I don't know if I'm getting vanilla necessarily. It could be sweeter, but to my mind, nothing can be too sweet. What was this? Was this the distant music? Does it taste like distant music? What might that taste like? Perhaps. So it's commonplace that you will hear a little noise to designate that the intermission is ending and you should go back to your seats. And here at Lincoln Center, I don't know how we've never noticed this before, they just played the Westminster chimes, as in bong 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 bong, or some slight
which is even
variation
weirder
thereof.
now, because now musical theatre people will know that as
Dear
the
Aunt
Paddington
Lucy,
music.
I'm in London. Yeah. Feels altogether too British.
I'm going to give a massive shout out to Tom Fletcher, because now I'm going to sing that every time. Aunt Lucy.
I'm in London.
No, never thought of that before. And I was like, oh.
I mean, we should go back to
Yeah.
this. But also, I'm not in London. Why am I singing that? Mr. Aeron James has just been sharing some very astute observations about the lighting design and how it creates shadows and lighting effects on the slightly shiny floor surface and how you wouldn't be able to appreciate those. Certainly from the front few rows. I don't know really at that kind of incline of rake. I don't know that you'd get that from any of the orchestra seating necessarily. So something to be said for sitting up here and being able to appreciate the full production. Often, I mean, that's the trade-off, isn't it? You sit close up, you get the intensity and proximity of emotion in the acting. You sit further away, you get to drink in the whole thing in terms of the stage picture and whatnot. We were also chatting. I don't think we could really appreciate the layout of this space until we sat up here, and we were saying it feels very familiar of theatres back home like the Gillian Lynn, formerly the New London in the West End, and also Chichester Festival Theatre and other sort of very rounded, slightly inclined auditoria like those. In any case, we make conversation as we await the second act of Ragtime. We are ready to let them make us hear them, as it were. I will see you for the curtain call. Okay, real talk, everybody. I have been hearing since this transferred. So at City Centre, it was like, love the score, wish it was a fuller production, wish like the direction was saying something a little bit more with the material, whatever. It transferred here. We were all hoping that maybe there was going to be a little bit more by way of set. So since first preview, the buzz, what we've been hearing from people has been like, still no set, whatever. And so we were kind of, on some level, readying ourselves to be disappointed, because I think if you preempt your own disappointment, then it doesn't really happen, and that's the best way to enjoy yourself at the theatre. And, you know, above anything else, we all want to be able to enjoy ourselves. But I loved that production. I thought it was great. It is so superbly cast. If there's one thing...
So much. I wonder if this is a thing, because it reminded me actually a lot of British, like, how Les Mis was originally staged.
Yeah. Sparse to a certain extent and striking through that and sort of finding impact and power when it needs to. There's still like a fuller, extravagant 50,000 people on stage production that I dream of for that show, because it's telling such a huge story. But the first time I saw it, as I was just telling some friends that we ran into at the stage door, was like a cast of maybe 14 above a pub with an audience of like 60 at the Landor Theatre that no longer exists in London. And so almost all the productions I see now, and especially in the US, are bigger by comparison. And if there's one thing that is consistently true, it's the ability of that score and that material to profoundly move me. I sobbed. I still sobbed. And I suspect that I always will. We've had such a journey with Ragtime on these New York trips. First time we ever came to the US, we both got to see, thanks to an incredibly generous person who bestowed unto us tickets the reunion of the original Broadway company, one of the greatest original Broadway casts of all time, at the Minskoff Theatre. This time last year, we saw many of this principal cast at City Centre. Now we've just seen them again. I'm never going to pass up the chance to go see Ragtime. I don't care what I paid for tickets, it was absolutely worth it. Had a great time. Liked those seats.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a bad seat at Lincoln Centre.
Yeah. No, it feels like a lot like the other theatres where there's not bad seats.
Yeah.
The curve, you'd think a curve would make a lot more worse seats, but actually it's the opposite.
And I think I would be more concerned about being really wide, either downstairs or upstairs, than being a level up.
Yeah,
I didn't mind that
agree.
at all in terms of sound or sight lines.
I like both.
So, good to know.
Yeah.
We are, I think our friends have gone to Joe's Pub, down at the Public, where we're heading this weekend, going back to the Public Theatre for the second time in our lives. We might go straight back to Ashley's and make the most of an early-ish night, or maybe we'll go join them. We will see what the plan is, but I am still high on Ragtime. Good morning, birds. Good morning, trees. Good morning from Park Slope, Brooklyn, where we are heading to go and get lunch, because it's not the morning, it is in fact the afternoon. And we're going to go and grab some nice afternoon lunch, like humans who eat food in order to sustain themselves. Aeron and I are seeing a 2-show day today, but one that we don't have to head into the city super early for, because Art, the play, currently playing at the Music Box Theatre on Broadway, is doing a 5 p.m. show today, which I hadn't initially factored into my schedule, but then I discovered it and I was like, oh, let's move everything around to make way. When you can find a little weird, unusual show time, and it's just this week, I have no idea what the reason for it is, but when you can find that, it's good to shape your schedule around that, because then you can see more shows during your limited number of days that you may have. If I'm talking to you and you're a Manhattan native, then that's not useful to you at all, unless you want to see a 5 p.m. show and do like a 2-show evening, which is what we're doing today. Art, followed by our beloved Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York, which is jointly set between Manhattan and Brooklyn. So we're having that experience today. We could go and pick up a cake on Flatbush if we really wanted to drive that home, but I don't know why we would. Anyway, gonna go get some Park Slope burgers. Feeling good about it. We have come to Brooklyn Burgers and Beer, where they have a $16 lunch tray option. You can build your own burger, that is to say you get to choose what goes in it. You don't have to build it yourself, they do that in the kitchen. You can get fries or tots, because we're in America. I have gone for tots, because I like tots, and we don't really have tots at home. And a chocolate chip cookie, and I'm drinking an Arnold Palmer. This is turkey bacon, pepper jack cheese, and fried chicken thigh on a brioche bun. I'm very excited about it. I'm doing a lot of pointing. And then I'm subsequently going to do a lot of eating. And just a few short hours later, mostly spent filming a review roundup of The Hunger Games. We are now back in Manhattan on 44th Street, heading up to 45th Street to go see the 5 p.m. matinee, of Art, which is very exciting because of the casting, because of the play itself, and because we've spent relatively little time thus far on this trip between 44th and 45th. You can see the St. James behind us, the much speculated balcony. Everyone was like, they're doing construction on the balcony. Is that where Evita is going? And in fact, the construction on that balcony very much predates Evita. Got a sideways Rob Lake and Kermit the Frog over here. You will know that the construction of the balcony predates Evita, because you will have heard it in one of my previous New York vlogs, if you watched that one, when I was queuing up on the street for rush tickets to Sunset Boulevard with Mandy Gonzalez. Towards the end of its run, back in June, we could hear the construction happening above me. For now, heading around to the Music Box Theatre. We worked out on the subway, this is our fourth time at this theatre. First time we ever went was to see, and the second and third times were both to see Suffs. There you go. Heading back now, once again, for a play, for Art, at the Music Box. We will check out the merch, see about signature beverages, but I'm mostly just happy to sit down, because we did not do that on the subway. Oh, windy here in Schubert Alley, but crossing over back up to 45th Street, my favourite street in the world. And it's going to be interesting because the timings and rhythm and sort of emotional recovery of a two-show day is well known to us at this point. But a two-show day in such proximity with a 5 p.m. and an 8 p.m, that's a little bit different. We're not really going to have recovery time. That's why we had a big lunch, because we knew we wouldn't necessarily have time to sit down and eat in between. You could definitely grab something, because art is a one act. Like, it's not like a 7:30 finish into an 8 p.m. There's going to be enough wiggle room in the middle, but it still might feel a little bit weird, because it's not by any means a usual two-show day. I still don't know quite why this 5 p.m. is happening, but I've been second-guessing myself that it was correct, and I'm comforted by the queue of people currently heading in to the Music Box Theatre and the fun digital marquee. I'm not the biggest fan of digital marquees, but if it means they can do fun stuff like this, and like they spoofed the chess artwork when that was opening, then I'm all for it in that instance. And look at this fantastic view down 45th Street of all of these exceptional theatres. Now downstairs at the Music Box is where you'll find this lower lounge area with a little bar and a little merchandise booth. We can zoom in on some of the prices there. Everything from logo tees to magnets, pins, mini canvases, mugs, scripts, window cards, tote bags and hats. Mini canvas? That sounds cute. I suspect Aeron James will want the pin. Maybe I want a mini canvas for my desk. But we can also see some other cute merch items over here as well. That there is the mini canvas I've just been telling you about. There's a pin on the top as well as a magnet featuring the same artwork that is there on a window card. We can see a mug down here. We can see a tote bag that says, "I find these colours touching." We have a baseball cap that has art embroidered on the back and the artist on the front. We have a white tee that says "Good Friends, Bad Taste" on the back in an empty frame. All of this, I dare say, will make slightly more sense after we have seen the play, like the joke that's on the mug and the t-shirt, etc. But this is the merchandise here for those of you coming to see art. I think I'm going to have to get a mini canvas. I think that's too cute. There are, I think, signature beverages that I can't quite read because the line is formidable. But they also have cute little art souvenir cups that I just overheard them saying they anticipate they will run out of before the end of this line even, certainly before the end of demand at this performance. There's not an intermission, this is a one act, so I can only bring you the information I can bring you. Oh, is there a menu over there? Maybe I can find out about the cocktails. This is also downstairs. This is my favourite water fountain because it's bottle friendly but also fancy. Does take its time. I was correct. There are signature beverages here named after the show's 3 stars. The Bobby is whiskey, sour apple and cranberry. The Neil is tequila, ginger ale and roses lime. And the James is peach vodka, prosecco and cranberry. Maybe it's just because I'm a British boy, but I'm leaning towards the James. Also curious if they each got to compile those themselves. I hope they did. That would be an extra kind of fun. We shall have to ask them. And once we head back upstairs, this is the very blue, or should I say mostly blue, view of the pre-show setup for art here at the Music Box. Not too far from our last seats in this theatre, which was somewhere over there. Rush tickets that we got to see Suffs. First time we were here, it was for Pele Victorious, I think again in this central section, but a few rows back. We also sat over there. But today we are in the centre front orchestra, row E, seats 113 and 114, I believe, ready to see art. And a couple of blocks and just about an hour later we have headed up to our next show. Truly not enough time to do anything substantial in that weird little gap, but barely advised I need to impart to you because how often does that happen? In any case, we are here at the Longacre Theatre finally to see one of our most anticipated shows of the trip. Of course, it's a show we have seen many times before. We saw it at the Kiln, we saw it at the Criterion, we saw it at the American Repertory Theatre, and now, finally, we are seeing two strangers carry a cake across New York, in New York, on Broadway, starring, pictured here, Sam Tutty, Olivier Award winner, and Christiane Pitts. Hopefully future Tony nominees, the both of them, for these roles, but there is a lot of the season and the year to go yet. In the meantime, they first have to open this show. That happens next week. We are here to see one of the last few preview performances, the press previews, here to review and to finally see this little show that could from the UK here on Broadway. I am delighted. Once again, we are down in a lower lobby area. This one has a bar and a merch booth. We wanted to get the cup for Two Strangers to commemorate seeing it on Broadway. They have featured cocktails for the show, but they didn't have a sign listing them yet, so they had a sweet one and a dry one. We've gone with the sweet one, which was like rum, soda, and pineapple, I think were the flavors I remember. Yeah. So Aeron and I are going to guess now as to what the themed name for that might be called. It could be like the Be Happy, or...
Let's say it's that.
Yeah, I imagine that feels... Maybe it's the Robin and the Dougal. I don't know. Did it need to be swirled? Did it need to be swirled? Did we need to do some swirling? Did someone just drink a lot of rum?
It's a bit like a pina colada.
Well, that would make sense, yeah. Cheers to you, tiny people in my camera. That's nice. It's pineapple. It's good. Oh, the bar queue has joined us. The bar queue has found its way back to us. I'm going to show you the merchandise when I get the chance. And we have headed into the auditorium, one we have visited 2 or 3 times before, to see Two Strangers and to see this familiar set here slowly revolving around in front of us, indicative both of a baggage carousel, obviously, with the piles of suitcases and the one cute little suitcase rotating around there doing its little pre-show business, but also increasingly throughout the show, and this is only a little bit of a spoiler, indicative of a snow globe as well. But you have to come and see the show to really appreciate it in that context, and see the show you should. Look at this suitcase. Let's follow it around. A cute little suitcase representing the journey from the UK to New York, a journey we have made in no small part to see this show, but a journey that the show itself has made as well. Incredibly special to finally see it here at the Longacre. Also, band spotted up at the back. I'm currently standing in my spot. I'll sit down in just a moment to show you the view from this seat, which is going to be E1 in the orchestra. And here it is. This is the view from E1. 1 as a seat number, or 2 usually means that you are on an aisle somewhere. This theatre, I'm pretty sure, is back to front, because usually the even numbers would be on the right and the odds would be on house left. But the ushers told us on the way in and guided us to where we needed to go, and it's always worth listening to their advice because they know better than you do. And so we have found our way to our seats. We have picked up our playbills, and as much as we may not be super taken with the current marquee artwork, the playbill art is super cute. Look at these here. This is Sam and Robin literally carrying a cake across New York. Look at that. I am so thrilled that we're here. I can't say it enough. I just keep watching this cute little suitcase and getting so happy that we're about to see this show in its 4th different location. We are in the intermission of Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York, and you can get merchandise downstairs in the lower lounge I already showed you, but also there's a nice little display of it here where they can also take card payments. I've just noticed this, and this is super cute, that the case showing all the little trinkets is a little translucent suitcase. That is adorable. We can see the artwork there on a magnet, in fact 2 different kinds of magnets. We've got a little enamel pin set with references to the show. We've got a sizable mug. That's a very substantial mug. We have this cute little embroidered hat here with the new blue artwork. We have a window card up there. We have postcards with various different messages. We have a cute little heart t-shirt that on the back says that message there, concealment is the essence of seduction. We have a Be Happy t-shirt. We have another baseball cap over there with a slightly more tongue-in-cheek reference from the show. And we have various pieces of apparel. We also have a $25 Be Happy Two Strangers foam finger. Can I get that back in my suitcase? That is the emerging question. And the pullover that has Be Happy on the front and the Two Strangers artwork on the back, I believe. But lots of cute things here from Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York. Get it now before it becomes the next hit Broadway sensation. That is my advice to you. Guess what we did? Guess what we did, everybody?
Well, they didn't have a plush.
That's hard to tell us.
This is plushy.
It is. It is. That's the closest thing. I'm going to display that somewhere in the background of my office. Last time we were here, we were reflecting on the number of times we've been to the Longacre.
Yeah.
First two visits were both to see
Lampika.
Lampika. That's Evita. Sing any song from Lampika. Woman is Rafaela. Then we saw Swept Away here. That I can't sing you any of that. And then
I was just being the set.
oh, that's right. Then Dead Outlaw. But the reason I was saying this is because when we were here at Dead Outlaw, I said to you, should I buy the bandana? And you made the great point that I like novelty merch items. Because you can get a magnet everywhere, you can get a pin, and I respect the people who collect their stuff.
Like, if you look at all the stuff we have, like we have a notebook tissues, we have a squishy toy from Teeth.
Yeah.
Like the rubber duck from.
I love the little novelty thing. And you and Kate are pin collectors.
Yeah.
I have friends who get magnets. Yeah. People like store their programs, and we keep like playbills and everything. But my thing, I think, is the novelty item. We also got a baseball cap and a pullover and a pin set.
Randomly opposite to what we're at the minute, but this is where we have to go back to the producers in the West End.
They have pigeons.
They have a pigeon duck.
Oh, we have to get the pigeon duck. Absolutely correct. But yeah, so Foam Finger today it is. They are loving this show here at the Longacre. All of the New York stuff. When the laughs started as early as like, I think the first laugh was like Hudson Yards, is that near here? And they already started laughing. I was like, oh, they're going to laugh at all of this.
Is so good.
It's never been so funny.
Yeah.
There's truly like twice as many laughs and there were already a lot of laughs in the show.
Yeah.
This is an absolute delight. And I forget the New York propensity for like a two-hander play like this, the likes of which we just saw with like gruesome playground injuries. So it's kind of working, I think, from that point as well. But we've seen this show.
Had this big moment here.
Yeah. We've seen this show various stages now through its development, and I don't think it's ever worked this well. This is great.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. Yay. Also, interesting cultural reference updates. He used to be from Crawley, he's now from Basingstoke.
Yeah.
Which
that changed in ART.
It did. I respect that as like people will have heard of Basingstoke maybe.
In ART, I can't remember if it was Basingstoke or if it was just like East Sussex.
I think it was Basingstoke. It wasn't Crawley. It definitely changed.
It definitely moved, but I can't remember.
They changed the name of the pub from the Pig and Whistle. R.I.P. the Pig and Whistle. It's now the Queen's Head.
Queen's Head.
Generic. But if that's what it takes to try and gain some cultural recognition, so be it.
There's been quite a few changes actually musically.
Yes.
And I can't remember if that's ART or brand new, because some bits I'm like, I don't know if I've seen this version.
I most of the musical changes I'm recognising from ART.
Yeah.
But I do think generally it's never been this good.
Yeah.
So that's great news. We're about to thoroughly enjoy the second act. We will see you afterwards. Maybe we have to go and wave to Sam Tatty at the stage door with our foam finger. Maybe that's the plan. You know what's super encouraging for a new musical still in previews is this kind of enthusiasm here at the stage door for these two Broadway stars in the making. People are excited to meet them, and why wouldn't they be? They just gave fantastic performances here at the Longacre. Had to stop by the stage door to say hello to West End star and Olivier Award winner Sam Tutty. Always exciting to see Brits thriving on Broadway, especially on that street, because Mr. Jack Wolf is currently starring in Hadestown across the street, also a friend of ours. First time either of us ever met Sam Tutty meaningfully was when I chatted to him backstage at the Criterion Theatre when he was doing Two Strangers in London.
And that was on the day of the Oedipus.
That was on the day of the Oedipus. So now, full circle moment, I still have this on my hand. This is a very functional glove, actually. I kind of wish that I had two. I am just going to wear it home on the subway and point to wherever it is.
Maybe don't point.
That we're heading. Who said that?
Pointing through to more of the UK, but still.
We had a big lunch, did not eat between shows because we were waiting for this moment when we're going to get post-show food, heading over into Hell's Kitchen to go and get some late night. I don't know if it's going to be pizza, I don't know if it's going to be chicken, I don't know if it's going to be a curly fry, but options are available here in Manhattan because thankfully it is the city that never sleeps, and the eateries remain open.
Yeah, always handy.
Yes. Other thing I was going to tell you, I can't remember what it was. Truly can't remember. Oh, we've seen everyone today. Just run into 50,000 people we know.
Walked into everyone. It was a bit like, whoa, that was overwhelming.
Yeah.
In a good way, but no, in like
one of those days. But finishing it with some food that we are going to carry across New York back to Brooklyn. We will see you tomorrow.
Your word is
Bye-bye.
addiction.
Oh my god, hey, good morning, hello, welcome to Saturday in Manhattan. I'm running apparently. We are on our way to a Wicked for Good event that Ashley is taking us to here at Hudson Yards with Meta?
Meta, yeah.
Question mark? With Meta, with the Meta. We are staying with more friends this week, so we have relocated our suitcases via Uber up to the Upper West Side and then rushed down here. We also got digital rush tickets this morning for Oedipus, so that is the matinee that we're seeing before heading to a Friendsgiving with many of our friends, including Ashley and many of Ashley's friends that we know because of Ashley. That is our day. Welcome to New York. So Ashley just got to listen to some songs from Wicked for Good, sat in this little bubble. There's a queue of people right now, of Wicked fans, very excited to get their first audio glimpses of these brand new songs. How cool is that? This is such a cute way of doing it. I have decided I don't want to listen to any of it before I see the film, which we're seeing in 2 days. I need the full initial cinematic experience. But this is a really cute little pop-up.
So cute.
Little pop-up bubble. And guess what we're doing now? After walking past it dozens of times, we are doing the vessel. This is what it looks like from inside the big structure that you often see us passing down in Hudson Yards. We're finally climbing it. We are climbing up the vessel. I'm just going to keep showing you what it looks like from different heights. But this is, we've got a great overview of the people queuing for the Wicked bubble. Super cute. All those excited fans. Some people are wearing witches' hats. Some people have brought merch with them. Someone was carrying a Glinda American Girl doll. And the queue is moving super fast, actually, because you're only hearing like 15-second snippets of the songs, which made me a little more tempted to go do it. But I know I'm still holding on to that full cinematic experience we're going to get on Monday night. Seeing ourselves at close range. Wave to yourselves, tiny people, in my camera. Turns out when you get up here, it's actually slightly confusing trying to figure out which way you want to go. In my head, I think I thought it was a spiral all the way around. It is not.
It also is also where I see.
This feels like an MC Escher drawn concept. You're about to see the shed behind me here, where we were last weekend to see Tom Hanks and Kelly O'Hara in This World of Tomorrow. There it is. Always finding a theatre, every single time. This is going to sound really stupid, but I looked at this and thought it wasn't like that many steps. It's a lot of steps.
There's a lot of steps. I don't even know how.
There's a lot of steps happening, but already pretty cool view down the middle. I feel like we're inside a beehive. I feel like this is how bees feel just all the time. Now, not every single level of the vessel is currently accessible because they've added in these as a safety measure, as a precaution when it reopened after a period of closure. But this is the highest that you can go, which is sort of the penultimate level. You can't go quite up to the highest point there, but still decently high up. We can see the roof of the shed here, the theatrical building that I was telling you about, looking down onto the Hudson Yards area. That way faces downtown, down the High Line. And we have some more great views over the other side, where Ashley and Aeron are currently taking their phones' lives into their own hands. And we can see down the sort of honeycomb-esque vessel structure down to the middle there, feeling like bees. It's very cool. That, of course, is the Hudson River that we are glancing across to New Jersey. Prevailing thinking is that this is the best place to get photos, which is if you go to that top level, down one side, so that you can get all those little bits of the vessel in the background. Otherwise it's just like you and buildings. Photo update for all of you, the F5 staircase is actually top tier, because you want to get like this structure in the background. That's important, I think. Turns out we are having a wickedly eventful day, because we just stopped by this Dunkin' Donuts, where I have been eyeing this, a munchkin tin full of munchkins. I have already eaten many of these munchkins, but there is a wicked one that I am going to try. That's the munchkins. I've been betrayed by the munchkins. I'm going to try the wicked one if I don't die trying. This is the wicked munchkin. Pink goes good with green. In theory, let's see if it does in flavour. But it's hard to get in my mouth in one go. Oh. It's a good munch. It's a quality munch. So, subsequently, walked down the High Line, had a lovely time. Oh, look how tall I am. And a back down. Walked down to Chelsea Market, strolled around Chelsea Market, enjoyed the traffic noise. Behind us there, Amazon Prime is setting up yet another Wicked for Good activation with a cute little yellow brick road and lovely photo ops. Sadly, it won't be ready until after we get into our matinee today. We now have to head up 40 blocks via the subway to Studio 54, top of the Midtown Manhattan Theatre District, to go and see Oedipus.
I love Studio 54.
I love Studio 54, one of my favourite houses, truly. First time we ever went there might have been Days of Wine and Roses.
Yeah, it was.
Then Wonderful World.
Then
Call Me Izzy.
Yeah. So this is our fourth visit.
Fourth show.
I'm amazed how many theatres now we've been to for the fourth or fifth time on
It's
this trip.
it's getting up there. It's getting that way.
And then there's some theatres we have still never been to.
Not quite. Yeah, there's a couple more still outstanding. Eventually.
4 or 5, I think.
Some things we will finally visit and some things will close.
Yeah.
And then, when that happens, then we can visit every Broadway house.
Random concert events. I do love that
Also
when you
that.
can tick one off, not because of the show that's on there, but because something's just there for a random day.
Well, we went to the Minskoff on our first ever trip here, but it was to see Ragtime in concert. So in my head, having never seen The Lion King there, the Minskoff is a theatre where you go to see Ragtime performed in concert. That's what happens there. Anyway, yes, so we won't get to enjoy whatever Amazon Prime are giving out for Wicked for Good, but it's yes, it's just nice that it's being celebrated. It's nice when everyone's excited about something musical theatre adjacent. But yeah, we're going to go and see Oedipus because I got rush tickets this morning.
You did so well.
On the Today Tix app. I think rush is harder here than it is in London. There are fewer shows doing digital rush. There are a lot of options in
Especially
the UK.
by Today Tix.
Yes, yeah, because there's some digital rush on Telecharge.
Yeah.
And that's the only sort of ticket scheme for Oedipus. They don't have an in-person rush, or I would have gone and queued up to hedge my bets, but didn't have to, which is great. And we've actually, Today Tix have been kind enough to give us a $500 gift card towards a couple shows on this trip. One of which is Oedipus, because I used the gift card for those rush tickets this morning, which is great, because got to highlight one of the ways that you can use Today Tix to get last-minute affordable theatre tickets, which is fantastic. I saw this production of Oedipus on its third or second to last day of performances at the Wyndhams in the West End. It was maybe the first show I saw this year, very, very early January.
Was
but
that the first show you saw this year?
I think it was, but I could only get a single return ticket to an otherwise sold out performance, so Aeron has not seen it yet.
Do you know where I know it was your first show of the year? Because your first show was that, and mine was The Tempest.
Oh yeah, that was a start, that was a beginning. Is this Uptown? I think this is fine, yeah. Gonna get on the ACE, but as much as anything else, I'm excited to see this again. I'm very excited to watch Aeron watching it. I'm just gonna be like, the whole time. I was about to tell you that we were approaching Studio 54, which we are, but then we ran into a friend on the street. Shout out to Joe Weinberg, whose brilliant online theatre criticism you can find at Overthinking Theatre on Instagram and predominantly on TikTok. My personal pick for who should be working for the New York Times if they want to go digital. But now we are approaching the glittering lights of Oedipus here at Studio 54 in New York. Hit transfer from the West End, opened just a few days ago. This car's trying to park, I'm trying to let it, but no, doesn't want to, okay. This is the only slightly obscured marquee here at Studio 54. We are going to pull up the TodayTix app to show our tickets and then head inside this theatre that used to be an iconic nightclub. Yes, it is that Studio 54. Also one of the easiest theatres to find because the number street that it's on is in its name. It's up here on 54th Street. There you go. Better view of marquee behind my head. And of course, 54 below is adjacent, and as the name suggests, below. Okay, the queue actually extends back here to what I affectionately refer to as the Colbert Theatre, formerly the Ed Sullivan, where The Late Show is filmed. But we are officially queuing around the block and down the Broadway. Said it before, I'll say it again, these queues move pretty quick. You don't need to be intimidated by a lengthy queue. Just make sure that you are helping the queue move as fast as possible by having your tickets ready, your bags out, and all that jazz. I will say, anytime that you hear in like word of mouth or marketing, this show's so popular, they've got a queue down the street. They always have a queue down the street. A queue down the street just means that like it's, you know, I guess it speaks to capacity, but also all these houses are so big, they all have a queue down the street if everyone arrives on time. It just means the audience is all turned up in a similar moment. About to get our tickets scanned thanks to TodayTix's very easy, oh that's so bright, very easy user interface, but I always want to show you the gorgeous entrance here to Studio 54. I spy a castboard on the left, box office is here on the right. This is a little bit mad, but we are heading in. Let me just show you the merchandise. It's all pretty similar themed because we are leading into that very funny slogan there. You can get it on a pullover, you can get it on a baseball cap, you can get it on a mug, you can get it on a tote bag, you can get it on a t-shirt, you can get it on a pin. It is indeed true, and it is very applicable, as I'm sure you know, to this play. You can also get the artwork on a magnet. You can get the Robert Icke adaptation of the script, which is well worth reading, well worth watching as well. This signage here feels very much worth noting for those of you planning to come and see the show. All tickets have a no re-entry policy, there is no late seating, and performances will begin promptly, which is why I'm glad so many people were already in line to come and see. It's about, I think, 100 minutes from what I recall, with no intermission, so that's worth being aware of also. And with a few minutes before the play begins, we are in our seats here in what I always think is the sort of darkly atmospheric auditorium of Studio 54, formerly an iconic nightclub space, now a theatrical one. A two-tier theatre. We have sat in the orchestra here, we have sat in the mezzanine. No specialty cocktails at the bar because they are themed, well there are specialty cocktails but they're themed to the venue, they're all sort of like disco drinks rather than themed to Oedipus, which admittedly would be something of a tall order. Stage currently looking very blank, but soon enough it will open to a set that is familiar to me, and we will begin the intense journey that is this production of Oedipus. Cannot wait. We have playbills here. Mr. Aeron James will show you the playbill. There it is. And these are the rush seats that we got this morning. I'm actually on an end here, which is quite nice. We are obviously a little wider to the stage. In row C of the orchestra, seats 10 and 12. And we are a little wider than might be ideal, but very close in terms of proximity, which is going to be very exciting this afternoon. And can't complain about the ticket price. Oedipus won't bomb if he winds up with mom. That was Oedipus.
Yeah.
That was Oedipus. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy is correct. We are broadly on our way to go and spend the rest of the day not seeing theatre. Even though it's a Saturday, we could see 3, 4, 5 shows today. We are instead going to a Friendsgiving celebration with many of our New York friends, which is super exciting. That and going to our friend's wedding earlier in this week have been two of the really nice things about this trip. Very much in contrast to the earliest trips when we were just coming here and like meeting people, but just seeing a lot of shows. Jonathan Larson project spotted on the floor. Anyway, it's nice that we now get to do social things because we have really meaningful friendships here, which is lovely. Before that, I mentioned yesterday that we had to stop by the stage door of the Longacre Theatre to say hello because we love to see Brits on Broadway. We are now heading to the stage door of a different theatre, unnamed, to go and meet with a different British performer currently performing on Broadway. That's where we're going. Passing through Times Square after just very possibly making a new friend. We love to see Brits on Broadway, and shout out to everyone who said hello to us coming out of that stage door as well. Nice to meet everybody. Lots of kind words. That's always one of the nice things about being in the Midtown Manhattan Theatre District is because
more here than you do in West End.
the sense of theatre community is very strong here. We are now going to go and celebrate our own little community with Friendsgiving dinner, which is going to be very special. And that actually brings us to the end of part 2 of this particular New York adventure. If I sound out of breath, it's because you now find me on Sunday morning getting ready to race downtown to go and see a 5-hour play. You heard me correctly. But the next few days is actually going to be incredibly exciting. Not that the first half of this trip hasn't, but in the coming days we are going to do the opening night carpet of Two Strangers, Carry a Cake Across New York. We are finally going to see Masquerade off-Broadway, the Broadway revival of Chess, and the Wicked movie. So much happening over the next few days. Stay tuned until next weekend when that vlog will be dropping. I will see you then. Make sure you're subscribed. I hope you have enjoyed the second part of our most recent Broadway adventure. And as always, I hope that everyone is staying safe and that you have a stagey day. I gotta get downtown. I'll see you next weekend. For 10 more seconds, I'm MickeyJoTheatre. Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!